And Pat, here's the thing. There's no jets, there's no rockets, and if it was a nuclear power plant, it would be very hot because, fission is extremely hot. So how is it doing? How is it moving like that? Well, it's using this whole new physics. And this is why most of our Air Force and other pilots, when they encounter these, they immediately assume all of them are alien or extraterrestrial, when in reality, I'd say 70, 80% of them are ours. Highly classified, illegally run covert programs without the oversight of the Congress and the president. So that secrecy has become so embedded. Eisenhower had a pretty good clue about it when he left office, and he said, beware the military-industrial complex. And I remind people he was a 5-star general, right, and a conservative Republican, moderate Republican back then. But he was no enemy of the military. But he warned the dangers to democracy and secrecy because of this. Now, he didn't mention the UFO issue, but he was very much read in, and I can prove that. Our archive goes through that. And he then, by 1957 to 8, was being pushed aside out of those programs. And we actually have an attorney who at the time was a young man in the Army. His testimony we released in this archive, where he says he was at the White House Signal Corps in 1959, 60, before Eisenhower left. And Eisenhower told him that he was being blocked control over these projects. So these covert programs have been, let's just say, off the leash for most of, the last 60 years.
So I want to ask you this. So I'm going through timeline while you're talking, and I'm taking notes here,
Sure.
So Hiroshima happened August 6, 1945.
Right.
Okay. Nagasaki happened August 9th, 1945. Okay. Invention Secrecy Act happened in 1951, which ended up being a law 1952, led by Senator John Sparksman. Great. And that year, he ends up being nominated as the vice president for the Democratic, nominee. Okay. Then the election that year, that the day we voted on Tuesday, was November 4th of 1952. 3 days prior to that, on November 1st of 1952, is the big explosion that we had, the thermonuclear explosion that took place. Rob, if you can pull this up, type in hydrogen bomb year. Just type in hydrogen bomb year, okay? So if you type in hydrogen, can you zoom in? That I just want to read that right there. The U.S.